cannot go where I am going.
Hey, family, man, I'm reading, or actually listening to John's gospel, and it's amazing that, first of all, Jesus is so misunderstood. Um, he's talking about, look, I came from the Father and I'm going back to the Father. And the people are like, what's he talking about? Where'd he come from? Like, they just don't understand the spiritual nature of Jesus's life and ministry. And um, as I was thinking about this, I'm like, man, do we really understand that Jesus came from heaven? Like, he can't, like, he wasn't, his existence didn't start in the Virgin Mary's womb. It started in all eternity. I mean, there wasn't even a start date. He's always been. And what that place must be like, that it's so glorious that he was willing to come to earth, take on humanity, suffer at the hands of man, demonstrate the power of God, the miracles of God, the wonder of God, and ultimately know that he had to shed his blood as a payment for sin. There had to be a perfect sacrifice. And by shedding his blood, he would make it possible for you and me to go to the place where he had come from, which is the kingdom of God, the new heaven and the new earth. And as I'm thinking about that, guys, like, I'm just like, look, God is so amazing that he has designed us for eternity. He's designed us for beauty. He's designed us for paradise and for meaning. And that's why the more we live according to his will, and his will that deals with our marriage, that deals with our business, that deals with our ministry, that deals with our relationships, the cultivation of those relationships, the cultivation and intimacy of our marriages, and even our parent son-daughter relationships, because ultimately everything's about relationship, right? And serving people. And that's the true nature of even business. It's caring about your customers, your clients, serving them. And when you blow it, because you will make mistakes, owning that, confessing that, realizing that your customers will forgive you, your spouse will forgive you, your kids will forgive you. And those who don't, that's something that they have to work out. But we're designed to be with the Father who has forgiven us and continues to forgive us. And as I'm thinking about the fact that Jesus came from heaven, came from the Father, came from the streets of gold, came from a place where the sun always shines and it's just beautiful, and there's work and there's play and there's no pain, there's no death, there's no temptation, and that we're designed for that, and we're gonna go to the place where Jesus came from. Guys, it gets me really excited, and it brings meaning to life. It brings meaning to your work. It brings meaning to even your momentary struggles and trials. And you may be going through some struggles and trials right now. And God heals, and sometimes he doesn't heal. He allows you to pass from this world to the next. And I just want to encourage you, don't lose sight of the big picture. It brings meaning to the small things that you're doing. Okay? I love you. And most of all, Jesus Christ loves you. He came from the Father, died on the cross, was buried, rose from the dead, demonstrated his victory over Satan, over death, over sin, over guilt, over shame, over poverty. And he went back to the Father in order to give you power, the power to prosper holistically now and for all eternity.